Hey, just wanted to pop in and say that I'm really sorry for all the exposure changes throughout this video. I forgot to turn the exposure lock while I was filming, so yeah, I tried my best to edit it, but hopefully this video is still helpful, and yeah, enjoy. Hey guys, it's Megan. Today I wanted to talk about how to self-study AP European History. In the past, I've made videos self-studying AP Psych and self-studying AP Human Geography, and a lot of these videos will have similar tips here and there just because they are just all AP classes and I'm the same studier at the end of the day, but I will have a lot of information in this video that is particular to an AP history course. So, every single AP video that you've probably ever seen has prep books, and for good reason. Prep books are literally the best thing ever. I've always recommended Princeton Review in my videos, but I mean, Barronsburg's fine, and whatever you have on hand really is good enough. I've gotten comments in the past asking if a prep book is enough to get a 5, and I honestly genuinely believe that a prep book is enough because it will cover everything that you need on the exam and it's straight to the point. So while maybe studying for a textbook could get you to that 5, it's honestly just a lot of filler info, especially for history courses. And especially with European history, you really just want to get down to it because there's so much external stuff that you hypothetically could cover, but you really just want to hyper-focus on what's on the exam. Basically, what I'm trying to say is get the prep book. It's like $3 to $4 on eBay. I would honestly recommend getting an older version just to save yourself some money, unless the exam has changed or rehauled itself within the next coming years. I think the last time the history courses rehauled itself was in 2017, so any book would work from then. You just want to double check. Now, what's really special about these prep books is outside of just quizzes and practice questions, they're going to have a content review, so it basically does serve as a textbook, but look, it's very concise, straight to the point, and it has all you need. So I would recommend going through and taking notes. The most efficient form of note-taking I found is to honestly just read and absorb all the material and write back what I learned in a sort of like storytelling form. I don't know if that makes sense, but essentially what I would focus on is less on the details such as dates. College Board doesn't really care that much about dates when it comes to history, but rather the relationships, the cause and effects, and the social scene, the cultural scene at the time of the event. I mean, I got by all 3 AP history courses without knowing a single date, so I would recommend against just pure memorization. And so this is the one AP I self-studied that I would recommend against using Quizlet. It can help, and of course people's studying methods will vary person to person, but memorization honestly is just not that important in AP history as much as understanding the concepts are. Now, if you have trouble understanding the concepts, I would recommend looking up the CED, the course exam description online. It's this big PDF released from College Board, and it will show you all the concepts that it covers unit to unit. So like the Protestant Reformation, the Renaissance, or things like that. And it will have like specific bullet points on what they're looking for, what relationships were present at the time. It's so helpful. I wish people used it more. Additionally, while you're reading through your prep book and taking notes, focus on the cause and effects of events. What are the ramifications of the Protestant Reformation? How did that change the way we view religion? How did that change the way we view the church? What were the reasons that caused the 30 Years' War? Were they political or were they religious? Asking yourself these questions and understanding the responses to the questions is what is going to get you a 5, rather than knowing what happened in 1453. If you're really just not sure what to ask yourself as you're taking notes, I'd recommend looking up practice questions online or practice short answer questions and then just filling them out by yourself. And so it gets the ball rolling on getting your mind to actively think about the content instead of just reading off a paper. Besides that though, I would definitely recommend taking information in small doses outside of just note taking. I mean, AP Euro and the AP Histories are very heavy classes, and so you can't just sit there in one place for like 6 hours and get all the knowledge crammed into your head. At least I think that's the reality for most people. So what I did was I watched a lot of Crash Course, like a lot. Look for YouTube videos. There are plenty of great AP Euro YouTubers. I'll put them on the screen right now and you can check all of them out. They have great review guides. So maybe if you don't want to read the prep book for a little while, because I know that happens to me. You can look up YouTube videos and supplement that as you're studying for the day instead, you know, just a little cheat day. You can also, if you're a history nerd, watch movies, look at memes. I know that sounds really stupid, and a lot of it is probably not as easy to do, especially if you're on a time crunch, but having those micro interactions with the material is what's going to build up and help you learn the content more. When I took AP World, it was those small little discussions I had with friends or little memes I saw on my Instagram feed that really helped drill in the info into my head. It's really unsustainable if you just purely look at the textbook. I know people can do that, but I think it makes the process a lot more enjoyable if you scout out different ways of learning the content. So by the time you've gone through your prep book, I think you should have enough knowledge to tackle the multiple choice section. I'm not really going to explain the multiple choice section because it's very self-explanatory, and I'm sure all of you guys have taken a multiple choice test before. Next, I wanted to transition to the writing portion of the exam. Right now, it's really not clear how long the test will be, at least at the time of filming. Things can change, especially with a pandemic. But if you're watching this in a future year and you have the regular exam format, it goes with SAQs, short answer questions, DBQs, document-based questions, and LEQs, long essay questions. And there are plenty of resources, again, on YouTube that will show you how to write each section. I'm not going to go into it because a lot of the teachers can do a way better job than I can ever do. And so I'll link everything that you need to know in the description. The advice that I would give is just not to overthink and just practice. With the APU history writing section, it's not an essay in the traditional form, meaning that it doesn't have to sound nice. Don't think of it as an essay, but think of it as points you need to knock off on the rubric. So as long as you complete every single point on the rubric, you will get a good score. It does not have to sound great. It would be helpful if you split it out in a more organized way, but that's not necessary. So no fluffy language is needed, no writing skills are really needed. So I memorized specific ways to form sentences that I knew would get the point. So I had a template on how to write the thesis. I had a template on how to write my analysis, things like that. In terms of practice, there are plenty of released materials on the College Board website. They usually release the writing section, so you will have your SAQs, your DBQs, your LEQs in the past, alongside a scoring guideline. So if you do decide to practice with these old prompts, you will have those scoring guidelines next to you in order to grade it yourself. I find that a lot of people have trouble grading it, but I don't know, just follow through the instructions and try to see what they're looking for. But if you need help, definitely reach out to a friend, maybe a teacher at your school that teaches AP history, or you can reach out to Reddit, or honestly, if you email them to me, I will try my best to look over them. Just practicing this over and over again, I must have filled out like 15 DBQs while I was practicing. So it really does take time, but once you get the hang of it, it really is like second nature. So just don't overcomplicate it, practice, and memorize the rubric. So now that you have the content for the multiple choice section and the writing skills for the writing section, you gotta group it together, and finally you get to the practice section. Now I've said this time and time again, my frame of reference for trying to gauge what score you're gonna get is 3 to 4 practice tests. So if you take 3 to 4 practice tests and you get the same score consistently, that should be the score that you get on your exam. There are plenty of practice tests available in your Princeton Review. I think there should be some online. I'll try to see if they are. So yeah, keep taking practice tests to gauge your ability. That's the only way that you're gonna know where you stand, because you don't have an actual class and actual grades to, I guess, let you know where you are. Once you put that all together, you got it. Another thing I'll mention at the end, just to tack it on, is that if you're a little lost on how to register for the exam, just reach out to your counselor. You should be able to register for the exam even if you are not enrolled into the class. It's a little harder. You'll have to jump through a few hoops usually, but you'll get there. If the course is not offered at your school, like Euro wasn't offered at my school, what happened to me was that I was supposed to take it at a school department building. So yeah, just reach out to your administrators / counselors, and yeah, I hope this video helped and that you get a 5 on the exam.